Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. I like calling this the Hitters Club because I think if you're prospecting, you are swinging the bat a lot. You are out there making massive contact. You're building relationships. You're leaning in. You are prospecting and digging for opportunities. So I want to talk to those people who are hitting, who are going for it. Tell me in the chat, where are you guys? Where are you living? Where are you coming to me from? Let's get some energy going. And please, this is going to be highly interactive. I'd love you guys to come off mute and talk to me. I want to hear wins. I want to hear struggles. I want to talk about success. Look at you guys. How fun is that? We got NorCal, Austin, Los Gatos, San Antonio, Birmingham. Texas is winning so far. Welcome, Charmaine and Reno. Bellevue, Truckee, California. Hi, Chelsea. Let's continue to admit a few folks here. All right. I want one professional win and one personal win. What's a win that you've had in the last month since I saw you guys last? What's a professional win? What's a personal win? Let's put it in the chat. And if you really don't want to share, you could share it with me privately in the chat. You could select down and say, send to the panelists or to Shayla, or you could put it in for everybody. But I want to hear a personal and a business win. And if anybody wants to come off mute, you'll come to the top of my participant screen and I can call on you. You can share with me on the chat. Oh, we had a grandbaby. Yes, that's a great personal win. Refer to listing agent. Refer to listing to my best realtor. Did she earn? She made $265,000 in commission. Alan, whoa. What a listing. Holy cow. Pam winning 3 loans, even in lots of competition. Congratulations. Got an appointment with a realtor I've been targeting for a while. That's a great win. Got engaged. What? Congratulations, Rodham. That's amazing. Daughter getting an Aggie ring. Congrats. First loan application, Marie. I love that. Chelsea, haven't lost a deal in 3 weeks. Does that mean you've been winning deals, baby? Yeah. You've been winning them. I love it. Consistent walks with my dog each day. New break bread relationships or business to business. Showed up at the Little League games for nieces and nephews. That's awesome. Getting new routine with a baby. Yes, Allison, I've been watching you hustle, girl. Congratulations. Landed a new builder account. Ooh, we might want to hear about that. Get my house back in order after a remodel. Offer accepted. Saved a low appraisal. Yeah, let's see some hearts and some high fives to everybody. Tara, 26 workouts in the month of September and 6 deals closed. Saved a low appraisal. All right, you guys are kicking some ass. This is really, really fun. Now listen, just because we've got some wins to share doesn't mean we didn't have our fair share of losses. But as you're finding with fanatical prospecting, 90% of it is our mindset. We're going to be jumping into a theme this month at Guild Mortgage that is called obstacles or opportunities. Is it an obstacle or is it an opportunity? Are the high rates an obstacle or an opportunity? Is the low inventory an obstacle or an opportunity? Is losing a teammate an obstacle or an opportunity? The exact same thing happens to so many of us, yet you can look at it totally differently. You can approach it as a challenge, as something exciting, something to learn from, grow from. So I want you to write that down. Is it an obstacle or is it an opportunity? And I want you to keep asking you that question all month. So let's keep diving into the stuff I want to talk about. All right, I'm on a coaching call last week with my group. I coach all my own loan officers every other week. I look at their numbers. I look at all their tracking, how many calls, how many break breads, how many appointments set. I look at their personal family budget every month. We do wealth planning at our annual retreat. We say, are we on track? We look at leads. How are we doing on our conversion? But often the struggles are the funnest things to talk about, the stuff that isn't regular programming coaching. And one of the struggles that came up from one of my loan officers said, I feel like I have a great first meeting, but then if I don't get any referrals from that first meeting, I don't really know what to do after the first meeting. I don't really know how to do that whole 2-step close. How many of you guys can relate with that struggle? Raise your hand. Okay. So here's what I would say to that. First of all, in my whole career, I really like to just go for it on the first date. Some people are like, are you going to, sleep together on the first date? Like, yes, that's where I want to go in terms of meeting a business partner. I want to go deep. I want to know their motivations. I want to know their backstory. I want to know their struggles. I want to know their problems. I want to really go somewhere and decide, are we a fit for each other or not? And ask for the business, ask for that next opportunity. However, you guys have to realize that a lot of the magic is perfect timing. Somebody could really, really like you and want to do business with you, but then not have a buyer lead for the next 2 months. And the reason you didn't get business is not because they didn't like you, not because of your presentation, not because of your experience or your connection. It could just be a factor of timing. So in this market, you have to be able to control 2 things. Okay. 2 things that we are going to focus on. Number 1 is our activity. It's the action we're taking, and that is measured by number of appointments. Okay. So every Monday on my sales call with my team, I'm asking, how many appointments did you have last week? How many do you have set for this week? I want you guys to be having that meeting on Sunday, every Sunday with yourself. I want you to pull out your planner. I use a full focus planner. I look at my calendar. I chart out my calendar for every day. I think about what were the wins last week? What are my top 3 goals for this week? And it literally could be number 1 goal is to spend 3 quality moments with my daughters. It could be, go on a date night with my husband. It doesn't have to be 3 exact business things, but what's the overarching goal of the week? What are the 3 things that would move the needle down the ball down the field, move the needle in your business, right? So having this accountability with ourselves and saying, well, how did I do last week? Because guys, most of us have always thought, am I good at something based on the results, right? And this really stuck out for me when I was thinking about parenting the other day, because I'm like, yeah, we think about ourselves. Am I a professional salesperson? Am I a good loan officer based on the number of deals I'm closing? Yeah, I'm closing 50 deals a year. I'm a great loan officer. I'm closing 200 deals a year. I'm a great loan officer. But we can't control the results right now in this crazy market. We can't control the interest rates. We've never been able to control it. But the reality is the pie is so much smaller. So you could be doing all the same activities you've always done. You could be blowing it up on social media. Allison, you're killing it, right? You could be blowing it up with the number of appointments or people come to your classes or landing a builder account or whatever, and still closing very few deals relative to your goals. And it's in those moments that we could look in the mirror and go, am I even good at this? Like, should I even be doing this? Because we're looking at the result as a feedback mechanism to say whether or not we are good at this. So think about it, how ridiculous this is in parenting. But I have fallen into this trap so many times. You guys probably know, if you follow me on social, my kids, they're wild. They don't mind. They are not compliant. They are fiercely independent, outspoken, hopefully going to be just badass adults. But as children, holy shit, it's a ride. Okay. So often if I'm looking moment to moment at the behavior of my children, to then look at myself to say whether or not I'm a good mom, I am screwed. I am riding the roller coaster. Just like if you guys are moment by moment throughout your sales day saying, am I a good salesperson based on the number of new contracts or deals closed, we're going to ride that roller coaster. So what is a good salesperson? How do you know if you're good at this? You set a lot of appointments. You set a lot of appointments. If you came into this week and you only had 2 appointments on your calendar, what are you doing? We make calls to book appointments. Write that down. We make calls to book appointments. And our calendar needs to be filled by appointments. Think about it. You could be the best orthodontist in the world, like unbelievably talented. But if you see 2 patients a week, like, what are you doing, right? Your goal is to come into your orthodontic practice and have your seats, like my orthodontist has them, in like a circle. You've got the best assistant team in the world. They're doing 80% of the work that's non-technical, non-artistic. And the orthodontist is literally going from seat to seat to seat to seat to seat to seat. But you would never come into your orthodontic practice on a Monday and go, oh boy, I only have 2 people on this calendar this week. I better get hustling, right? So everything we're doing today needs to be for next week. We should already be coming into this week with at least 15 appointments booked, at least, guys. So it's like in an 8-hour day, if we are seeing 3 people a day, now I don't care if that's a lunch, that's a coffee, that's a Zoom meeting, that's a pre-approval meeting, that's a networking event. You got to see 3 people a day and have a business conversation, have an appointment. So the question for you is, did you have 15 appointments last week? Okay. If not, then you can say, I'm not getting an A+ as a prospector. I may be riding as a C. And are you okay with being mediocre? Because we can control appointments. See, now some of you might be new and you're like, why the hell would someone want to meet with me? I'm new. Well, who cares? You might have to call 100 people where somebody else might only have to call 4 to get 3 appointments. Doesn't matter. You can still get your appointments, but that is how you need to look in the mirror to decide if I'm good at this. And then the second thing is we generate leads. So we've got to figure out how to get good at the appointment and then how to generate leads. So going back to this whole conversation of like, I had this great meeting and I said, well, what do you focus on in the meeting? And she says, well, I really focus on building a connection. How many of you, and there's a lot of you not on camera, so I'm going to judge based on those of you that I could see. How many of you, when you're in a meeting, you're thinking, I want to find a connection. Like that's my goal. I want to find a connection. I want to find a way if we vibe, we like each other. How many would say that that's what you're going for? Okay. All right. So yes, that's good, but that's not what it is. What I want you guys to realize is that if the whole time you're in a meeting, you're trying to figure out a way to connect with somebody, oftentimes we are coming from a place of insecurity, from a place of lack of confidence, from a place of saying, I hope they like me. How many of you guys get stuck in that? I hope this person likes me. Come on, be honest, right? Okay. This is where you have to turn it around immediately. If you get nothing out of this call, I want you to hear this. You are the prize. You are the prize. I'm coming into a meeting. I have to say, I'm the prize. I'm not here worried about if you like me. I'm worried about if I like you. Because I know I'm going to show up with my full heart and soul. I'm going to be committed. I'm going to give it everything I got. I'm going to be here to help solve your problems. I'm here to figure out if I like you. That's the turnaround. That's it. So how do you get people to like you? You work hard at liking them. How do you earn respect? You give respect. How do you get abundance? You give abundance. You give and give and give. And I promise you, it's the law of reciprocation. It comes back. So when you're in a meeting, guys, you're the prize. Then you are asking a bazillion questions to figure out, do I like you? Number 1. Number 2, can I help you? What are your problems? Is what you need something that I can pretty effortlessly help you with? Now, if you're a brand new loan officer and you're at a level 2 in your career and you meet with somebody who's at a level 12 and they're having a level 12 problem, you might go, I like you, but I'm not able to solve your problem. No big deal. Next. That's what you need to write down. Next, you need to find somebody who's at a level 3 or 4 that's having a 3 or 4 problem, and you could stretch yourself to solve that problem. Or you need to be at a level 8 in your career and find people who have problems that are level 6 to level 10. That's a nice challenge and a nice mix. Okay. And what do I mean by that? Well, if I'm sitting down with a team leader who's got 42 agents on his team, he's struggling with onboarding, he's struggling with holding them accountable, he's struggling with management of lead flow and coaching these people and all that kind of stuff, I can handle that problem. I've had over 100 employees. I have 30 people on my team. Like I'm at the level where I can have that conversation. Does that make sense? So great, let's go there. But when I was 3 years in the business and didn't have a team, that's not a conversation that I could really enter in. Same thing on the reverse. When I got started in the business, I was 23. 2 or 3 years in, I'm 25 or 26. And somebody's like, look, I work all day long, so I only work with my clients from 6 to 9 p.m. I want to know, are you going to be available when I call you and I need you to be between 6 and 9? That is what I need right now in my career and where I'm at. Can you help me? Hell yes, I can. I'm 26. I have no kids at home. I'm obsessed about growth. I'm into it. Yes, I can help you with that. I'm in. Okay. Today, I'm 42. I have lots of things going on in my life and much older kids. No, I would not be a good fit for you. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So when you go into the meeting, I'm the prize. I'm the prize because of my character, because of my commitment, because of my willingness to help. I'm not the prize because I've closed 400 deals and blah, blah, blah. You guys, I think so many people, and this is a men's problem big time. So I'm talking to all of you men on the phone. I've coached so many men that don't think they've made it, that they're legitimized, that they're a true professional until they've hit some arbitrary number. Like once I've made 500 grand a year, then I will be legit. Once I've made $1 million, then I will be justified. I will be that guy. That's not it. People ultimately choose you because of your character. Why do we like people? Because of their values. And you know when true character shows up? When shit goes wrong. That's when true character shows up. When things don't go well, who are you? Do you still answer your phone? Do you yell at people if they mess up? When you get squeezed and you're an orange, does orange juice come out? Or when you get squeezed, does something else come out? What's really inside of you? Okay. Now we get a good gut feeling of somebody's character and their values, but when we work together and stuff doesn't go well is when we see what people are all about. That's where we can see the test of time and longevity. So does everybody hear me? You are the prize. Stop trying to get people to like you. Start going out there, finding people that you like, that you want to invest in, that you want to partner with. Okay. You don't have to like every client. You don't have to take every client. You like, listen, if you're a listing agent, do not go to every listing thinking, I want to win every listing. Go to a listing going, I got to decide whether you're my client or not. Do I want to invest in you? Do I want to have the sacrifice? That's a totally different mindset shift. And I promise you, when you go into business looking to find people you like, you will find unbelievable people. You will get out of your head. You will stop being insecure. You'll stop acting weird because you're really genuinely, curiously trying to find out who are you and do I like you? Okay. All right. Everyone is having a struggle. So get out a piece of paper. Something else that everybody needs to learn. And we're going to draw a little tree, okay, Shayla style. So this is really uncomplicated. Let me show you what it looks like. You're going to draw a tree like this. You see there's like 3 branches, one branch, one branch, one branch. I need like a marker. Oh, highlighter, that doesn't work. You guys get my point? You following along on the tree? Okay. All right. So on this tree, I guess I could put a trunk on it. On the first branch, you're going to put sales. Okay. On the middle branch, you're going to put operations. On the third branch, you're going to put finance. Everybody got a tree that looks like this? Okay. Annette, you've seen me teach this 100 times. When I learned this changed the game for me. It changed my confidence. It allowed me to understand that I could meet with anybody in any industry at any level of business and have a conversation on the level with that person. You know why? Because everyone's always having a struggle. If you're in business, there's never a time where a business is perfectly balanced for more than a few days or minutes. And here's what I mean. You're getting the perfect kinds of leads that you want, the right amount. They're calling you in your exact hours of operation. They are following your process and path. Your customer service and your process is perfectly defined, and effortlessly executed with perfection every time, and you're spending the right amount of money for a beautiful ROI and making the profit that you want. Can everybody agree that that just is not what happens in real business, right? It is shaky, it is bumpy, it is moving all the time. And the question is whether or not you are growing to that next level. What I see happen so often in coaching is I'll coach somebody and they are in the same place 2 years from now, and then in the same place another 2 years from now. What I mean is they keep having the same problems. The goal with coaching, with growth, with reading a book like Fanatical Prospecting, with pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, is not to eliminate problems. Okay, write this down. More money, more problems. You're never going to run out of problems. So you might as well just embrace the shit out of them. Okay, go, great, I got problems. It means I'm in business. But the goal is to keep elevating yourself to where the problem is a new problem and a new problem and a new problem. Okay. And a lot of that comes from self-awareness. You have to understand, where is your problem? You have to know when your wheels start wobbling well before the wheel flies off the car and you're now driving on 3 wheels, right? So, okay, let's think of different businesses. You're talking to a divorce attorney. You're talking to a guy, my dad owns a drywall company. You're talking to a drywall contractor. You're talking to a private equity investor. I just met a guy who's way up at Blackstone and builds their whole AI department, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter what business or what industry, these are the 3 functions. They're either having a sales problem, an operational problem, or a finance problem. Okay. So I'm always thinking about this as I'm talking to people in business. I'm not going in there going, I got to look perfect and I got to make sure they think that I've got all my stuff together. No, in fact, it's the opposite. I've got to know where my business is struggling, and I've got to be willing to be vulnerable and share that with somebody else, because confident people know that problems are not a problem. They're just part of it. They're part of the game. And it doesn't mean that I'm a failure because I'm having a problem. It means that I've got something new to tackle and to challenge myself to, right? So many people walk around like going, oh yeah, everything's great, everything's perfect on that side, or they're over here whining, complaining, bitching, and being negative. Neither of those 2 are great. Being right in the middle and knowing this is where I'm at, these are my goals, this is where I'm trying to get, this is the current problem. Now you can figure out how to solve it. Now you can find mentors. Now you can find people to say, you've been where I've been. Can you help me solve this problem to elevate to the next level? So a sales problem often is you don't have enough leads. You have the wrong kind of leads. You have low revenue business. Your conversion is off, like you're generating a bunch of referrals, but you're not converting. Could be a ton of things, right? But that's a sales problem. So next business you walk into, you can look around and go, what problem are they having? Okay. You could go in a restaurant and go, they've got people out the door. They don't have a sales problem. They now have an operational problem. They don't have enough wait staff. They don't have enough tables. They don't have a process for setting expectations, for taking, delivery orders or this or that. They've got an operational problem. In mortgage and real estate, maybe you got enough leads, but all of a sudden you're inconsistent with your follow-up. Sometimes you're following up with somebody in 20 minutes, and some days it takes 6 hours for you to get back to them. Some days you do a pre-approval in 24 hours, and some days it takes you 3 days to get a pre-approval. Sometimes your underwriting turn times are 24 hours, and sometimes your underwriting turn times are 5 days. That's operational inconsistency. That creates a lot of stress. Okay. The last one is finances. Finances could be, I just invested in this new software. I just invested in this new marketing. I'm now doing a farm. I'm now, hired a videographer full time. I've made a financial investment. And so I've got a financial problem there. So here's the goal. You have a sales problem. You start jamming to get the sales problem fixed. We do fanatical prospecting. We need more leads. Most everybody right now, if you're in real estate or mortgage, we've been in a recession, is having a sales problem. That is the problem, which is why this is the only thing that matters, period. is that we've got to get out of the sales problem. But I will tell you, every single one of you, if you stay the course, if you be consistent, if you push yourself out there, if you get through the 3 Ps, procrastination, perfectionism, and paralysis of analysis, you will run into your operational wall. You will generate more leads than you can handle efficiently, or you'll generate leads that you've overpromised and you're under delivering operationally. How many of this has happened to you guys where you ride the roller coaster, you have no business and you go gun and get it. And all of a sudden it's like wheels are wobbling. Oh my gosh. And two options at this point. When you hit this wall, you have 2 options. Option 1, take your foot off the gas. How many of you done that? You're down here and you're desperate. Okay, good. You're raising your hand. And then you go and you get a bunch of business and then you go, ah! You take your foot off the gas. You stop networking. You start making your calls. You like try to like rein it in. So then what you do is you go, and you come all the way back down here. Then guess what? You're at the bottom of that roller coaster. You have a sales problem all over again. So then you ramp it back up. And you're a drywall guy. You chase new jobs. You bid. You put yourself out there. You're and then all of a sudden you land 6 new jobs, and you're going, oh shit, I don't have enough people to fulfill this job. I made all these promises to these sellers, and I can't live through them. I promised that I would follow up on my pre-approvals every week, and I'm not doing it. Right? So you have 2 options. Pull back. Number 2 is to push through, solve the problem. 1, you tighten operations and processes. Okay. Most of our problem is a process problem. Write that down. Most of your problem is a process problem. If somebody doesn't choose you, you've got to go first to the process and go, how is my presentation skills? How is my presentation? It's not reality, it's perception. If I didn't bring enough value, it's not me, it's the presentation. Can I go back through and increase the presentation? What's your onboarding for a new client? What's your onboarding for a new employee? What's your checklist for follow-up and conversion? Most of it is a system problem. So tightening up your checklist, going back to that and not wigging out. What most people do is they pull back because they assume it's a me problem. Okay. As long as you're choosing a positive mindset, and every time you get punched in the face and knocked over, you stand back up, you look in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm broken, but I will do better tomorrow. That is how you stay in the game. That is how you continue to grow, is that you continue to say, that's okay. I messed up. I overpromised. I did this. I did that. I can get better tomorrow. So you push through, you fix some systems, maybe you hire people. Maybe that's what you got to do here. This is where coaching really helps, where you could say, this is my struggle. And you go through, well, have you done this? Okay, hire someone. Now make sure you're hiring the right person. You're thoughtful about their skills and their talents, their personality type. What are they going to do? You do that thoughtfully, because if you just, how many of you have hired the wrong person? Anybody have had the wrong processor? Anybody, right? It's because we're like, oh shit, now I'm going to hire somebody. And then we jump to that. And then we have that problem. Now we've invested money and we're not getting the return, are we? If you add someone to your team who's working 40 hours a week on your business, do you think you should grow? Yeah, hell yes, you should grow. But guess what? We are the problem most of the time. We hire the wrong person, or we hire the person we don't really think through what are the activities I need them to do so that I can do the higher level activities, generate more business, and grow. We hire somebody that's just like us, right? That's our exact personality match. That's a problem because you haven't balanced out your business. So anyway, some people make an investment. They go, I'm going to buy leads. I'm going to buy a new truck. I'm going to buy equipment. I'm going to buy software. And then they get freaked out and they pull back and they ride that roller coaster again. Instead of being clear, confident, and on purpose and going, okay, that's okay. I have a financial problem. Now all I got to do is go back here and do more prospecting. And then I'm going to prospect. And I'm for sure going to run into another operational problem. I'm going to tighten that up or invest and hire people. And then I'm going to have a financial problem. And then I'm going to bust through again. I'm going to prospect. I'm going to have another. Do you guys see the point? This never ends. It never ends. So the goal is to get to the place in your business where you can be sprinting, like keep up the pace, but you can be looking way far ahead. Traditionally, when we are sprinting, what are we looking at? Down, Shannon, our feet, so we don't trip, right? We're just like, ah! The goal of having a process, the goal of getting good at this, the goal of consistently working a plan is so that you guys know when you're having a struggle, where's the struggle, where to go for help, how to bust through the next level. Has this been helpful? Okay. The biggest reason I share this for you is because I want you to have a more bulletproof mindset. I want you guys to be rhinos. I want you to have thick skin. Instead of like a little problem coming up and it freaks you out, you go, good. I'm glad I got a problem. Something for me to solve. I can get through this. If she can do it, if she could do it, I can do it. I want you to hang around people that are higher level than you, where you go to them and say, hey, this is a struggle I'm having. What did you do for this and this and this? What did you do for this and this and this? That's exactly how I've had my success. I didn't have the answers because if I did, I'd already be at that level. Right? There's people who are closing 20 loans a month during COVID. They never had the business doing 20 loans a month. What do I mean by that? They didn't have the systems. They didn't have the discipline. They didn't have the mindset. They didn't have the right staff in place. They only were closing it because there was so much gosh darn business out there that they just closed it. But in order to get to that place where you're closing 10 loans a month, 14 loans a month, 18 loans a month, you've got to develop all of these skills and keep working your way through it. Okay. So questions on any of this stuff. I'm going to go back through. Oh, I see another win that's really fun on the reverse mortgage. Way to go. Yeah. I love David Gosden saying this sucks good. By the way, guys, every time I like to play, Allison, I'm going to get you in a sec. I get to a place of victimhood a lot. Like a lot. Like I just like, oh, I'm tired. Even though I'm choosing this, I do it, right? Or like, this is so hard or whatever. The minute that comes up for me, because I work really hard on my mindset, the minute I get there, I go, ooh, if I'm feeling this way, if the market is grinding me like this, if I see another market update and we're down another 42 basis points and I'm like, that means every one of my competitors is probably feeling the same way. This is good because I'm going to tighten up and I'm going to double down. It's in those moments when I start feeling weak that I go, if I feel it, everyone's feeling it. So am I going to join them or am I going to rise up? And that's the only pep talk I need to say, nope, I'm not going to fall to the level of average. I'm not going to allow myself to stay in victim mode. But to think that I don't go there is absolutely false. I go there a lot. I'm just better at than most pulling myself out of it quickly. Allison, you were going to say something. Oh, your sound's not coming through.
How about now?
Yeah, better. It's not great, but go ahead.
When we were talking about not buddy selling and getting down to it on the first meeting, what about with agents right now who just don't have buyers for an extended period of time? And then we have this kind of weird, I don't want to harp you and make you feel weird that you don't have anyone to send me, but I want to make sure you're sending me people. What do you do in that kind of limbo period?
Well, you be more than somebody who's just asking for buyers. So, I think that positioning, so guys, you could sit down with an agent and go through this thing. You could literally sit down and say, okay, we designed a flyer. Maybe I can share it with you guys. It's like a menu of services. You might like this. Yeah, it's just in draft mode. So we haven't used this, but this is something you guys could come up with. So like, this is Amanda on our team, but we've got a menu of services, right? Like, so we could host a client party. We could assist in gathering reviews. We could provide comprehensive training. Here's what we do in marketing, blah, 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 right? This is still in draft mode. But Allison, if I'm sitting with you, here's my script. I am looking for 15 great partners. Let me meet you, Jared. We can hear you, buddy. So Allison, I've just had a meeting with you. I'm on the first date. Okay. And I'm learning all about you and why you're driven and what your backstory is and where your goals are and what you're looking to do. First of all, if you're showing up as a level 4, like you're kind of like half in it, then I'm going to show up as a level 6. Okay. If you're a level 9, like I'm so driven, like I have these guys right now. I absolutely love them. And they're like, we have to get to 100 million within a year. Like if we don't get to 100 million, then this isn't worth they're like at a 9.5. And I'm loving it. Right. I'm like, yes, I love being around people like this. If you're at a 9.5, I'm at 11.5, but I'm not going to bring my 11.5 to somebody who's a 4. Okay. Because everybody gets to have whatever business they want to have. And as long as I love you and your character and what you're about, I'm in. I don't care if we do 1 deal a year together. I don't care if we do 20 deals a year together. I'm probably going to be more stimulated just based on how I roll if you show up as a level 9. Like Allison, I'll never forget the conversation we had back in March, and you're pregnant. You're like 36 weeks pregnant and you're driven, you're doing this and that. And I'm like, God, I love this girl. Right. But what I'm doing is I'm saying, I'm looking for people that I can partner with. I'm not looking for somebody who has 2 buyers in the next month. Like, would that be nice? Hell yes. Like that's how we both get paid. You get paid, then I get paid. Right. So I would be working on these other things, and I would absolutely work with listing agents, because listing agents are the ones that are going to accept your offers, guys, when they have multiple offers and you've built a relationship for them. So I would just keep finding ways to help them with tools. A lot of it's just energy. Like I'm just here with you. I'm grinding with you. I want to celebrate in your success with you. So the exact script, Allison, in a first meeting with somebody, is I do that whole forward conversation. I go really, really deep on that stuff. I want to know, did you grow up with divorced parents? I want to know, did you have a chip on your shoulder? I want to know, did you get cut from the basketball team? I want to know that you were in debate. Like I really want to know fundamentally who you are and your character. Because if you're somebody that's committed, that's loving, that's courageous, that has the values you have, like I'm in with you. Like I really like you. And then I find out the struggles that they're having in their business. And a lot of times they don't even know what struggles they have in their business, because most people don't sit around specifically thinking about, my business has 3 parts. How am I doing in all of these parts? Where am I struggling? What is my conversion rate? Am I tracking how many calls I'm making? Am I tracking how many appointments I'm having? Most of them are just running around, not even sure. In fact, most people in our business are not even working 40 hours a week. And they're considering getting out of the business to go get a job. And I'm like, could you imagine if you worked 40 hours in your business? Like you worked, like you're going to go over there and work for that person for 40 hours a week. Could you imagine what you could create in your business? But anyway, they're maybe operating on a level 4. They don't want to do that. Right. So I'm finding out what their struggles are. Generally speaking, most everybody is going to have a sales struggle, like where are they getting their business? So I'm going to be asking them about if they're in any business, where do you get your business? Where do you want to get your business from? Do you work with business people? Do you work your sphere or database? Or do you work cold market? Are you willing to do cold calls? Are you willing to do open houses? Are you willing to do door knocking? Whatever. So then I start finding out, Allison, where are they getting their business from? So like they're a 20-year agent and they work only with their database. And I'm going, okay, well, what's your plan on your database? Do you call everybody once a quarter? Do you have client parties? Do you send a newsletter? Do you do a newspaper? Do you do an evidence of success? Like, what are the ways that you farm you work with your database? So oftentimes the most valuable part of a meeting is somebody asking you valuable questions, yes or no. Like I've just met with a financial advisor, and it was a really cool meeting. And the best part of the meeting is when they ask me hard questions. Because otherwise I'm just sitting there in my own head thinking my own thoughts. I need somebody to disrupt my thinking. So that's the best meeting, Allison, is asking those kinds of things. And then finding out ways that we can partner together. So I say, look, I'm really looking for about 15 great professionals that I can partner with, that I can create a win-win, because I really believe that I can't make money unless I help you make money. I have to help you be successful first. And I want to go all in with people who have the same values, the same hustle, the same desires and goals that I have. Now, again, they might want to make 50,000. Might want to make $1 million. That's fine. But I want to help them hit their 50,000 because it matters to them. It's going to empower whatever their dream is. So as I'm following up and they don't have buyers, Allison, I'm going back to the activity. You could also, by the way, guys, get your realtors to read, or any of your partners. You got a divorce attorney, you got a financial advisor, you've got any business person, get them reading this book with you. Forward my stuff, right? Say, this is what I'm doing. And then the book is the bad guy. It's not you. It's not you going, hey, did you make calls? Did you, it's like, let's do this together. So, does that help, Allison? Is that slightly different than what you're doing?
No, that's great. I think sometimes I show up with 11 on a scale of 10 for everyone, and then everyone sucks you dry and you have nothing left, and there's nothing left to give either. So that's exactly right.
Yeah. Listen, you got to love everybody for exactly where they're at, but I demand people to play a little bit higher than where they're at. Okay. I'm not going to sink to your level. Write that down. I am not going to sink to your level. And if you suck, I'm not going to hang out with you much. Period. Next, there's 6 billion people on the planet, you guys. You know how many unbelievably beautiful, cool, energetic, loving, talented, fucking awesome people there are on this planet? So sorry, if you suck, I'm not spending the time with you. Okay. But if you're level 4, then I'm going to find your brilliance. I'm going to see why I like you. I'm going to reflect that back to you. I'm going to be the mirror that shows you a better you, but I'm not going to expect you to be 11 when you're a 4. Okay. Because there's different seasons of life. That person may be a 4 because they're caring for a sick spouse. They might be a 4 because they've made an agreement about how they want to parent their children, and they want to make 50 grand a year because they want to be fulfilled and useful and stimulated, but this is what they want to do. I have so much mad respect for people there, but I'm very intimidating, Allison, and I've learned that. So I've had to learn how to really moderate my 11ness to a 4, right? To be that cheerleader. So anybody else questions on this? How to use this thought philosophy to meet with anybody, how to have a better opportunity on a first or second meeting, how to do a 2-step close follow-up. If you just hit your mute button and come off mute, I see you, and then I'll have you talk. Okay, so let's talk about, Ben. Let's hear it, Ben.
Hi. I'll come off mute and ask questions. So sort of in line with what Allison was asking, she was saying, when a realtor doesn't have, business for you for a while, right? And how do you manage that? Well, for me, kind of one way I'm approaching this is trying to bring them a client, which of course, I've been in the industry for about 2 years. So I've seen like the tail end of something great. And then it's been like very challenging and it's been fun. But one way that I'm doing that right now, and it's very slow and it's kind of time consuming. So, but is building relationship with local businesses to provide them with financial wellness education, and then like meet their employees and then try to convert them into people that I can bring to my realtors too. Cause I think I'm definitely trusting the process, and building relationships with realtors, but I've definitely, the newer or even like realtors that are even like a few steps ahead of me are like very challenged right now with getting solid referrals. So that's, I guess what I'm asking in a way is like, I am trying to get clients to give to them. And, I'm just hoping that that's, a good way to go.
You know what you're doing? You're leading by example. Yeah. I would never, ever set the expectation, you guys, that you are going to generate business for somebody else, and that's why they should work with you. Okay. Because you're locking yourself into an agreement that is not fair as you evolve as a person. Okay. And it's not scalable. So, if you're a realtor on this call, I hope you have 6 divorce attorneys that you work with. I hope you're that freaking valuable to a divorce attorney because you get so good at that process that you don't just have one partner. So if you went to this person and said, I'm going to bring you every client that gets divorced. Well, you're lying, because how you can't scale that. Does that make sense? So, but what you're doing is you are leading by example. I don't want to tell somebody that they should call their database, and I'm not calling their database on my own database. I'm not going to tell somebody you should teach financial education, you should network, you should meet with business people, and I'm not willing to do it. Right? So I think the more that you're doing it and you're getting active and you're in the community and you're networked and you're introducing people to people, that is such an attractive quality. This is why the busier you get, the busier you get, right? And you're putting yourself out there and you're not looking at the results because it's about appointments, going back to the beginning of the call. So if you go into somebody's place of employment and you do a financial wellness seminar and you had 5 people there on their lunch break, you had 5 appointments in that 1 hour. You compound that over time, Ben, you will absolutely blow up and be successful. And you know what? That's what this prospecting book is all about. The more you prospect, the luckier you get. Because I'm not prospecting to find the deal and that's it. I'm not prospecting to find the one agent that's the one lead for me right now. You're prospecting to build relationship equity. Write that down. It's relationship equity. The other thing that you're doing is you're building your reputation. Like, I'm doing a 4-part series. You guys see it on my newsletters. I don't know how many of you have been on with me and Brendan Donaldson, but he did a really good call 2 sessions ago. And it was really about, he went through like, what is your ideal client? What is your ideal partner? And then he said, what would you want somebody to say about you if they referred you in the most perfect way possible? And a lot of this is aspirational. Like, what do you want your reputation to be? Right? So what you're doing, Ben, right now is you are building the brand. Ben, it's your reputation as a professional. Who are you? How do you show up? How do you serve? How do you give? So if you are only doing it right now because you want to generate leads for those realtors, and the minute the market turns on and your phone starts ringing and you stop, that's the wrong thing to do. Do it for the larger purpose. Do it because Ben as a loan officer is about financial education. Ben as a loan officer is about serving business people and connecting people and helping many, many people be successful. Right? That's my life's purpose. If you guys can't tell, like, I want to help other people succeed. And I know if I help other people succeed, I don't care who the hell it is, if I'm helping a kid right now, or if I'm helping, I offer unsolicited coaching all the time. I cannot help myself. So I'm with my girlfriends and we're on a walk, and pretty soon I've got my fucking coaching hat on and I'm coaching. So, but it's because I really crave to help people be successful. So does that help you, Ben? I think part of your question was, am I doing the right thing? There was kind of an undertone. Yes, you're doing the right thing. Stay the course and don't stop just when the market turns on, because that was a one-time good to do thing. Just like, people go, I'm calling my database because I'm desperate. Well, you should be freaking doing that the whole time. And you need to continue freaking doing that. So write this down. The best do the boring stuff really well, and they love it. Love the boring stuff. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline is what has staying power. Okay. So it's the disciplines to the service. I got to get you guys off 5 minutes early because now I'm going to coach branch managers. How are we doing on tracking? Let's hear on the chat. How are you guys doing on tracking? I gave you a tracking sheet. I don't care what tracking sheet you use, but how are you doing honestly on a scale of 1 to 10 of tracking your activity? How many calls are you making? How many thank you cards are you sending out? How many appointments are you setting? Type it in the chat. How are you doing on tracking? We're 2 months in. Kevin's an 8. Jared's an 8. Jody's an 8. This is why you guys are on the call. Alan, step it up at a 5. Here we go. Shannon, you're a 6. Come on. Do I say Rodham or Rodham? I want to know how you say your name.
Rotem.
Rotem.
Yes.
And Mr. Engaged. And you've had such a great smile. Yeah. Okay. 7 out of 10. Not bad. But this is how we don't get delusional, right, guys? This is how we don't get emotional and off track, is we just track it. And we look at the data, we look at the numbers, and we take action. Mika 8, Allison 9. Very nice. Okay. You guys see, let me just tell you something. If you're showing up on these calls, you're watching my couple-minute video, you're reading this book, you guys know that on your worst day, you're more engaged than 90% of your competition. You needed to hear that, didn't you, Kelly? Yeah, because you guys are beating yourself up. I'm telling you, you are different. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of loan officers and realtors on the planet right now. And I can guarantee you half of them are not engaged at all. And you guys are engaged and you're taking notes and you're tracking and you're pushing yourself. And you know what? You beat yourself up because you go, oh, I'm a 7 this week. Screw it. Just get a little better tomorrow. Write it off and move on. Like I tell you, my husband will say stuff to me. I go, you know what? That's not helpful. I need you to tell me how you want me to be better and I will do it. But don't beat me up. Right. And he doesn't mean to, but he'd be like, eh. And I'm like, hey, I get it. I'm sucking right now. I get it. But what specifically can I do to be better? You guys need to get like that, okay? With yourself, because most of this happens all up here to ourselves. Like, oh, I'm sucking. Ugh. No, you got to go back and go, where? What's not working? What's one thing I can get better at? I can get a little better tomorrow. Tomorrow I can do better on the call. I could be more courageous. I could be less distracted. I already had the conversation with myself this morning because I was on Instagram like 4 times before 6 a.m. How many of you guys have those days in the morning where you're like, your wheels are like spinning in the mud? Like, what am I doing? I'm sitting here to journal. I'm having my psyllium. I'm starting out with a healthy thing. And I've sat here on Instagram for 14 minutes. Like, what is going on, Shayla? Anybody else that happened to? But instead of beating myself up, I go, I got to get better. I got to have more clarity today. I got to be more focused today. I'm obviously a little tired because I'm not on it. I'm getting distracted to those things. And it's just a way to get there. Final thought. These 3 Ps are really what's getting me going. I know I just made a video on it, but it's helping me to really just look myself in the mirror and go, you know what? Procrastination is my thing. I don't know why. I think it's because I like adrenaline. So I wait until I have to get my ass out of the office to pick up my kid. And if it takes 13 minutes to get there, I will give myself 12 and I will speed to get there because I don't want to waste any time. Is there anybody else like me? Like, am I the only nutball? Okay. And then knowing I only have, 10 minutes before that, I get like Herculean amount of things done in that final 10 minutes. Like, what the hell? Right? So it's procrastination for me. With my team on Mondays, we're now doing a power hour. I do a sales call for the first 15 minutes. We all say how we did last week with our appointments set, how many we got going this week. We track our leads. Okay. We report. I do a motivational talk about fanatical prospecting on the chapter of the week. And now we are just staying on Zoom on mute and we are dialing for 30 minutes. Because as a leader, I said, look, I am just sick of coaching. I am talking and talking and talking. Less talk, more action. Let's just take action. Let's just do it. I'll do it with you guys. Let's just do it together. And in 30 minutes, you guys, 30 freaking minutes, most people book 2 or 3 appointments. In 30 minutes. But guess why? Because they know the call block is coming up. They've got peers around them. So no one's screwing around. We're all seeing each other. And hopefully we got a phone to our ear and we're talking and we're doing stuff. We come in thinking about a script in advance and we don't procrastinate. We don't overanalyze to paralysis. And who cares about perfectionism? Just go for it. Just freaking go for it. So as we round out this call, thank you for joining me. I want to host these once a month through the challenge because I know I'm sending you guys little motivational texts. I want you to communicate back with me. I know I'm putting out the weekly newsletters of the chapter, but the interaction and seeing your faces is my favorite part. And when you guys share your success with me, or you have a struggle, or you ask a question, you send me a voice note, I dig it. That's why I'm doing this. So thank you for being on today. Hope you got some great stuff. In fact, send me a note, send me an Instagram DM, send me a text. You guys know how to text me. Tell me what your biggest takeaway was. And we'll communicate soon. Thank you guys.